So you want to be OP? Well, I'm here to help. This time we are playing the Chrono Cross Remaster. One of the things that I think makes you can do to make yourself OP in Chrono Cross is actually really maybe just a basic understanding of how combat works and how effective physical attacks are. Elements certainly can deal some pretty decent damage, but it takes time to charge your elements up, and oftentimes you're better just using physical attacks with Surge. Surge is crazy powerful in this game, and one of the best things to do early on is to get the buff elements, Eagle Eye and Strengthen. Now, both of these elements become available at the same time. Technically, you can get Eagle Eye a little bit earlier if you were very, very lucky in Viper Manor and got them to drop, or one or more of them to drop from the Neo and Bulbs boss fight, but I would not count on getting them there. But either way, it's very soon after that the elements actually become available to purchase. If you are on the Save Kid route, you'll have to do the events at you'll have to get the Hydra Humor in the Hydra Marshes and actually save Kid and have her back in your party, because Korcha is recruited after that point, and Korcha is what gets you the boat. Now, if you actually don't save or choose not to save Kid, you get access to the boat a little bit earlier, and so that route you can do this stuff a little bit earlier. But anyways, once you have the boat, you'll just want to come over here to Marble in Another World, and we'll go talk to this guy here. So it's this fish guy in this pool, and it's the Bro of G's shop. So he's got all of the buffing elements that you'll ever want. I highly recommend buying a few copies of Strengthen as well as Eagle Eye. You can go with more of these, but those are the two important ones. So the next thing that you'll kind of want to do is kind of just get them set up on your character's grids. I wouldn't bother equipping them on Surge. It's just not as needed, because he's the one that's going to be doing all of the damage. So one of the things though here, so Rasley is a pretty good example of somebody that's good to do this with. Eagle Eye is a level 4 but plus or minus 4, meaning that you can put this basically in any element slot. It actually doesn't do you any good to equip these in higher level element slots. You really just want to put them in your level 1 element slots. So we'll just load up here. Again, keep in mind this is actually a New Game Plus file, so you're not going to have this many element slots. But the other thing that you'll want to do then is also equip the Strengthen elements as well. I'll just equip 2 there, and then I'll do the same thing here with Lena, who is another really good character to use for this strategy and for buffing. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter who you use as your other 2 characters. It's just that some characters have more level 1 element slots than others, but also you don't really need that many. You can probably do like 2 Eagle Eyes and 2 Strengthens on your other 2 characters, and you'll be just fine. But let's take a look at an example of a battle, and I'll just show you kind of my strategy here. So we'll go, this is the Bend of Time, just to show you for example's sake here what you can do. Alright, so with Lena here, all I would do here is use 1 basic attack, right? Because that's going to be, we're not bringing Lena for her physical prowess, but her accuracy is okay there for the first rank attack. So then we'll just use an Eagle Eye on Surge, and then we'll do the same thing here with Rasley, except instead of using Eagle Eye, we'll use Strengthen. And you can see how quickly that is to get set up. And then all you'll want to do here is just go right down to your level 3, your Fierce attack. And you can see there the hit percentage is 99%. Now, without Eagle Eye, this percentage is probably around 70%, maybe 72 or so. but with these buffs it makes them almost certain. So we'll just hit this guy, and you can see actually we'll do that one more time, and that usually lasts, you know, quite a while. Now at this point, and I should say this is more useful for boss fights, right? If you're just doing random encounters most of the time, you can just turn on the auto battle or just use, you know, regular basic attacks, and you won't have to do anything else. But one of the other nice things about this is that whenever you use so basically enemies have a specific order that they will go in, and that's based kind of on stamina. So if you think of the way that time passes in battle, it's in like single units. So using a basic attack only uses 1 unit of time, right? And let's just say an enemy will be acting after 5 units of time pass, right? So if you use a fierce attack and then whatever the medium attack is called, right? That'll be 5 units of time. So after that happens, then the enemy will take its next turn. That's not knowable, and I'm assuming that's actually somewhat random as well. But one of the interesting things, though, is that, again, we'll use the example of 5 units of time passing and then the enemy getting a turn. If you actually use 3, or if you use 2 of these abilities back to back, it actually interrupts that enemy's you know, attack, and it pushes that enemy's attack back 1 unit. So oftentimes you can actually just, you know, kill off enemies before they even are able to act. But that is it. I mean, honestly, there isn't much more to being overpowered in this game. It really is about you know, making sure that you are buffing yourself up. Well, I guess one of the other things is the Master Mune is extremely powerful. It looks like actually I don't have it on this file. Let me load that up. I'll load up a different save here. That's kind of wild that I don't have that right now. I must have done something weird on that file. Oops. And I just did the same thing again. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Alright, so let's just take a look here at the Master Mune. The Master Mune actually has a little bit less physical attack than the Spectre Swallow does. Spectre Swallow does have just a little bit more. It's like 2 attack more, but the Master Mune has a really, really high crit rate. So oftentimes the Master Mune actually ends up doing more damage than the Spectre Swallow. So I guess just keep that in mind. The Master Mune has a quest that you'll need to do. You can take a look into that, but that is a very, very powerful weapon, and it makes this strategy even more broken. One of the other great things is to equip the sunglasses on Surge. That comes from probably the toughest enemy in the entire game. Dario is either the toughest or the second toughest, and then Cryosphinx is again either. Cryosphinx is probably a little bit tougher, but and then I've got, you know, just really physical attack enhancing stuff like Dragoon's Glory is a really solid item, and then a Power Seal, right, to just really you know, bump up Surge's attack even higher. So yeah, so that is pretty much it. There's, you know, some other things I guess that we could say, like the plate armors, right? So black plate, for instance, on Surge, who is a white innate, keeps him really, really you know, really safe against very specific enemies, right? If you can cover your weak, you know, because white characters are weak to black innate spells, well, if you equip a black plate instead, it absorbs all of those elements instead. So that it doesn't, unfortunately, it doesn't absorb just regular attacks from black innate characters, but it can be a way to, you know, really reduce a lot of the damage that you're taking. So that would be another thing that I would say. I mean, I would comment maybe the Einlanzer as well, but I don't think that I wouldn't really say that this is necessary to be really overpowered. They're just really nice, and Glenn is a really solid character. Also, though, that said, one of the most overpowered combos in the entire game is Glenn and Surge. and especially once they get their two weapons. So like if Glenn's got his double line Lancer and Surge has Master Moon, or even Spectral Swallow is really solid too. They actually do get a double tech called Cross Strike or X Strike. It's brutal, and you only need their element levels to be 3 for each of them to use that. It's one of the most, if not the most powerful double techs in the game, and actually can rival some of the other, like, well, I guess there's only 2 triple techs in the game, but. And the last thing actually that I would feel bad if I didn't include this is the Vigora element. So Vigora is only obtainable from the Vita Unis boss, which can be a bit tricky because the Vita Unis boss is one of potentially 3 bosses. You have a choice. You can fight Vita Unis, Vita Dos, or Vita Trace, and you do want to fight Vita Unis, though. It's the only one of the 3 that drops Vigora, and it's one of the best elements in the game, and especially for this combo if you're focused on characters using physical attacks. Basically what you want to do is buff that character, or buff your, like, Surge for instance, with Eagle Eye, then Strength, then you want to use Vigora after that. What this does is it says it temporarily stops your stamina from decreasing. So Surge can just do like 3 or 4 fierce attacks right in a row without losing stamina. It's incredible. Unfortunately, this is only equipable on blue innate characters, but that is why I've got it on Fargo. I find Fargo to be, in my opinion, the best blue innate character in the entire game, because he can steal. That is pretty much it, though. So as always, I hope the guide was helpful, and thank you for watching.